Welcome to Baddie, a monthly podcast by For the Breast of Us, the first breast cancer community for all women of color, where we share real-life experiences, information, and education to help you live your best life after a breast cancer diagnosis. Welcome to Baddie. Welcome to Baddie. It is the West Coast Baddie checking in. My name is Marissa. I am the CEO and co-founder of For the Breast of Us. I was diagnosed with stage 2 ER-positive breast cancer at the age of 35 in 2015. Even though I may be growing my Georgia peach right now, I am originally from Tacoma, Washington, so still always West Coast, true to my heart. I'm excited to start chatting with you, so let's go.
Hey Baddies, my name is Cynthia and I am a breast cancer Baddie ambassador from Houston, Texas, but I'm originally and always will be a Cali girl. I was diagnosed with stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma in 2018, and I'm currently going through hormone therapy for the next few years. I am also a proud Bayesian woman and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
We have a really great conversation today. We are joined by Ray Singleton. How are you doing today, Ray?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Good. Well, thank you so much for, joining us. And, I know Cynthia slid into your DMs and wanted you to be a part of the series that we have going on called Love and Cancer. It is a series that I started earlier this year because I wanted to talk about the relationships between people who have been diagnosed with cancer and, the love that they share either, romantically with their partners or, with their family and friends. So just wanted to delve into that and see how cancer has, impacted their relationships in their lives. And, love is encompassing. So it's any type of love.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Great topic for me to share.
Yes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Ray, and tell us, how cancer has impacted your life for everybody who is listening and watching.
Okay. Hello, listeners. My name is Ray Singleton, originally from Charleston, South Carolina, currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a widow now. My wife, Roslyn Royal Singleton, she fought brain cancer for a little over 12 years. She was a Navy veteran, 5'5", tattoos all over herself, a sailor, loved God, rode a Harley. And she was Superwoman. She had 4 brain surgeries, multiple rounds of chemo and radiation. She fought like hell. She inspired others on her journey. She shook up the world. There are people now all over the world who know who she is, who are inspired by her journey, who decide to fight on just because seeing her go through her journey the way she did. She's inspired me in countless ways, and my responsibility now is to continue her legacy and inspire others the way she did, or at least try to.
Yeah. And so how long were you guys together for?
We were together for 6 years, married for 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I met her November 5th, 2016. We were at a party. I had on sunglasses, going down the escalator, and the first thing she ever said to me was, "Where you going with them stupid ass sunglasses?" the first thing that I heard my future wife say.
Yeah, and it was just love at first sight.
Love at first sight. The first date she told me, like literally the very first date, she said, I'm a Navy veteran. My mom died a few years ago. I ride a Harley Davidson. I had brain cancer back in 2013. I like basketball and sports. And what's up with you? that's literally the conviction and the faith and the power and the strength she had. Like that's just something she had. Just had to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like she was diagnosed with brain cancer, obviously before you guys had started dating.
Yeah, in 2012 was when she was diagnosed. 2013 is when she had her first brain surgery.
Okay. And so I'm guessing, was it during your marriage or your relationship when she had a recurrence?
It was 1 year in, a week before 1 year anniversary. So she would get her scans every year just to make sure everything was good. And she was clear from literally 2013 to 2019. And she went in for a routine scan. She had been doing this. So this one, she went by herself. I was at work and she called me and said that the doctor said they saw something on my scan and I'm going to be all right. And I'll see you when you get home. And I was like, all right, word. What you need me to do?
Right. Yeah.
And, after that, we were in doctors' offices and tests and scans and devices and all types of stuff after that, man.
And how old were you at this time?
28, 29.
Wow.
Yeah. She was my cougar though. She was 6 years, 6.5 years old. Right? Yeah, I'm out here cougar, baby. Military benefits and all that. I gotta have me a good one.
Oh my goodness.
So when she told you she was a survivor initially, I mean, did you ever envision that this would be the journey you would take?
No, because of the way she delivered it to me. Like literally just at dinner eating ribs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had brain surgery. You can see my scars. I'm like, okay, well, that's just the way she explained it was just something she just had to get over. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something she had to do. So when it came back, and even that way, when she explained it to me, was going, okay, just something else we got to do. She just got to go to the doctor. Because literally the way she thought about it was, or the way she acted or responded to it, it was as if she had to get her elbow wrapped up.
Right.
Like we're walking into brain surgery and she's skipping and laughing and high-fiving nurses on the way in. I'm like, yo, what? What is this? So man, I didn't think that it would come back, but when it did, the way she went through it, it was just something we both had to get through. So I had to do whatever I could to support her.
And being so young and going through something like that, how did that,
I'm still listening.
Okay. How did that impact you?
I loved her so much, man. Age didn't matter. All I knew was what did I need to do to support her, and my age didn't have anything to do with it. I loved her. I was engaged to her at this point. I was 6 months in. I got my knee dirty. We were married. We met November 5th, 2016. We were married November 4th, 2018. So like it was very fast.
Yeah.
I loved her. It didn't matter what I was doing, how much money I had. I was going to figure out what I needed to do to support her because she was my angel. Yeah. So it was whatever. If I had to learn how to administer medicine or how to measure stuff or hold her hand while she in that loud ass MRI machine. Oh, that machine is insane.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Insane, dog. And then the radiation joint, she had a mask and like it had to fit her face. And it was crazy. And she did all that with a smile on her face.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting hearing from your point of view because, you're telling us all this and me and Cynthia are just like shaking our heads like, yep, because we understand from being like the patient perspective. but hearing it from somebody who is coming from the caregiver, or, you know, what sometimes we call in our community the co-survivor perspective, is it interesting, you know, just to hear it from your perspective of how that, you know, affected you or just what you had to see.
Yeah, man. Like, I got used to being in doctor's offices. I got used to being in waiting rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got the actual exam room, and then there's another room, and you got to take your jewelry off in this room and go to and you got to drink the liquid. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it was many things.
And the stuff what she had to go through while being here, in the grace that she went through it with is still astounding to me.
Mm-hmm.
She had her head cut open 4 times, though.
That's wild.
It's insane.
That is. And I just saw a clip where she said the tumor, I guess one of the first ones was the size of an orange.
Yeah.
How do you even get that into your
right?
No, after the 3rd brain surgery, there was literally like an 1/8 of her brain just gone. You literally had to take it out of there. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know that much about science at that point. So I'm asking the doctor, I'm like, yo, is that gonna grow back or something?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's out of there.
Like, don't she need that?
Nothing about her personality changed. Nothing about who she was changed. She was still talking shit. And and that's the power of God, man. That's the power of God, bro.
Yeah.
Having 1/8 of your brain missing.
Right.
And you could just you still with the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I was in the presence of an angel.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
And so at what point did you start to notice, you know, and even for Roz, like at what point did you start to notice like the decline?
After the 3rd surgery, it got a little rocky because her the 3rd surgery she had a scar just like going straight up, but the 3rd one we had to come across, so it ended up being like a number 7 in the back of her head. Mm-hmm. And in between the 3rd surgery and the 4th surgery, because her skin had already been radiated 3 times and cut open 3 times, her neurosurgeon, she's the only person that he's operated on 3 times, the same person. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't heal, it wouldn't healing back the way it needed to heal. So there would be times where like fluid would build up in the back of her head because the CSF fluid didn't know where to go. So we would have to go into doctor's appointments, and they would literally have to put a needle in her head and drain the fluid out. It was crazy.
Insane.
It was crazy. She had stitches and sutures. I think that's what they call them and all that. Mm-hmm. Glue, skin glue. It was crazy. But the question was when I noticed the decline, the way that glioblastoma multiforme works is that's a stage 4 brain cancer. Mm-hmm. It's very, very, very fast. Mm-hmm. So she drove herself to her MRI on October 4th. And by the end of October, she could barely walk. So like it was very, 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 very fast. You know, you get slurred speech. Her weight started dropping very quickly. Where the tumor was, she had lost vision in her left side. So like all this, she couldn't see anything. So I had to stop her stubborn ass from driving. She was not trying to hear that. Starbucks and Target all the damn time.
Yes, we love our Target now.
Yeah, that's all she wanted to do. But yeah, it was unfortunately it was very fast, man. It was I remember a point, we're downstairs and thinking like, yo, she's never gonna be up, she's never gonna make it back up those stairs. Mm-hmm. Like that's a realization that's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Insane. Like, cause you don't, that doesn't cross your mind.
No,
It just doesn't. Although we know these diseases exist and life is going to happen. It's going to happen when you at that altar and you pass the saying through sickness and health. You are not thinking stage 4 brain cancer.
you're not.
Right. Yeah.
It's not in your brain.
No.
Yeah.
But love is going to keep you through those moments, though. That's what kept me.
It does. Now, I have a question for you because I noticed that while you're, talking to us about this, you are a little bit emotional about it.
Yeah.
And so at what point, or do you ever have these points where it's like, okay, I'm tired of talking about this?
No, because if I don't tell my story, who gonna tell it, man?
Right.
And I got no problem crying. I got no problem snotty nose. Probably somebody else, that's their problem. I'm gonna get all these emotions out. I'm not gonna let this stuff just build up inside of me to where I can't deal with it no more. No, I gotta talk about it. I gotta continue to keep her name alive, man, because that's a force who deserves to live more than 39 years. Right. Now she will live on forever.
Absolutely.
Now she'll live on forever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect example when we talk co-survivorship. Nobody walks this journey alone.
Yeah.
The cancer patient, survivor, thriver kind of is the one who's constantly talking and telling the story, but it's your story too. It's a shared story. And so I'm glad that you have like the platform, the wherewithal, and the want to just get it out and keep sharing about her. Because as you know, the world has fallen in love with you guys.
It is insane to even think about that, man. The doors that God opened up for us, the opportunities we had, the lives we were able to touch, the stages he put us on. It's unbelievable. It is, and literally all we did was love on each other.
Yeah,
man.
And our community kind of came about because we don't see each other. We don't see Black young women, cancer survivors. And you guys have been very public. I mean, was it something you thought about? You made a conscious decision? How did it come to be?
January 6th, the day before her second brain surgery, that was my first brain surgery with her. I had already been documenting, like, just on the low, because I always make videos for her. But I didn't know if we were going to keep this one close to the chest or not. Right. And the night before, she was like, put up this video and let's tell the people what's going on. And literally, it was like 8 o'clock, January 6th. We walking in that morning, 5 o'clock. You know, they scheduled them damn surgery.
Right.
Ass crack in the morning. I'm like, what? This what?
Right.
So we walking into the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's hundreds of comments and DMs and all types of stuff. People praying, wanting to know what's going on. So in order for me to, it just got to a point where I couldn't respond individually to everybody who was asking what was going on. I was like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put all the updates on my page. Don't text, don't call. If you know something, it's happening right here. And literally, it grew into something that has been unbelievable. That has changed our lives. It changed my life.
And so was that just a conversation that you guys continued on, or you didn't even have a conversation? It was just like, we're just going to continue to keep documenting this and just share it with the world? We're
just going to keep it going. And obviously COVID helped with that because with nobody else doing that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I say the same thing for the Breast of Us. We launched For the Breast of Us in May of 2019. And then the pandemic hit, February of 2020. And we were already like 2 steps ahead of everybody else because we were already doing everything online. So for us, it was easy where everybody else had to pivot and adjust. But for us, we're like, hey, we're here.
So it seemed natural. When we went to Ellen, I used some of the money to buy a camera. and we just started vlogging, man, and we got support literally every day, every week, every post we put up. We launched a clothing brand. People was buying shirts from us. People was buying my music. Roz was doing Mental Health Mondays on her Instagram Live, where she would just set up her phone and people come in and talk and cry. And I now keep that going on. And I've sang at weddings and engagement parties and all types of stuff, man.
Yeah.
All types of stuff. So it changed our life. I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad that we were able to or she had the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm not just gonna fight for myself. I'm gonna show others how to fight. That's what she did. Yeah. That's ultimately what she did. She showed other people, hey man, you can get through life even if death is in your face.
Right. And I think it's just also showing the rawness and the beauty of it too at the same time, right? Because a lot of us don't get that, that insight. Like whenever they hear cancer, whether that be breast cancer or brain cancer, like they think of one thing, but being able to see what that's actually like.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed last night when I was, going through your page is, it looked like the last, either couple weeks of her life, you had audio recorded.
Yeah.
Conversations that you guys were having. And so being able to just hear that and, hearing, what she was going through, how she felt, kind of, the questions that you were asking her, but then you guys laughing in between that as well. Yeah. It just, to me, that was more powerful than anything else. For somebody even just like me, like when I was diagnosed, I met a friend on Instagram. Her name was Christina, and we became really good friends. And we were diagnosed around the same time, had a lot in common. And then her cancer ended up coming back and metastasizing, to, her brain, her lungs, things of that nature. And just listening to the conversations that you had with Roz remind me of the conversations that I had Christina during her last couple of weeks of life. And some of the things that she would tell me that she couldn't tell, her family or friends, because she didn't feel like that they would, listen. Or like when Roz was telling you, like, I'm just tired, Christina would tell me that all the time. And so it definitely touched me, because it's like, this is what people need to hear. It's like, no matter how strong the person is, we still get tired, and then that's okay. And it's okay for like your caregiver, your co-survivor to validate, you being tired or fatigued, but then also telling you that I'm here. And so, yeah, I thought that was really dope. And I guess my question for you is, what made you have that foresight of being like, let me capture these audio moments with her and then be able to share these at a later time with everyone?
Knowing I was in the presence of an angel, man. Like once I realized the transition was happening, and it wasn't likely that she was gonna make it out of it. I knew selfishly I was going to need to hear her voice. I knew that other people was going to have to hear what she was going through, how she was feeling. I didn't know what I was going to do with. I didn't know I was going to create a talks with Roz. I didn't know it was going to help touch people, and you know what I'm saying. I didn't know. I just wanted to have something of her, man. That the people behind her coming will be able to enjoy or listen or just find out or be nosy. Some people just nosy, man.
Right.
But if somebody get a message from it, if it touches somebody's life, then I did my job, and that's I feel like that's what God puts us here, man. Like, we're not here living for ourselves, although we got to take care of ourselves and be a little selfish when it comes to loving ourselves. We're not living for us. We got to live to brighten up somebody else's day, to create a better path for somebody else, to show somebody else that you're unique, but you're not alone. There's people who go through this fight with you. There's people who can love you and support them. There's a lot of bad people in the world too. Unfortunately, you got to do that. But hold on to the people that love you. Hold on to the people that's special. And when I realized I had an angel in my presence, man, and so many people love that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I was like, man, I can't keep this to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. You just validated why I did it. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. It was dope. I was just like, oh, okay. Again, because for me, it's like, I think once you experience that, you experience a loved one who is transitioning.
Yeah.
There's only a few people in the world who can actually understand what that's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's even kind of morbidly now, especially being in the cancer world, like I can actually tell when somebody's actually getting to that point. But I'm real gentle with also explaining to other people like what point that they're at, because I know a lot of people can't take that in. They don't, too hard.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So for me, it's like always, like when I know that somebody's transitioning, always just praying and being like, okay, just let their transition be smooth. And then like, I know Christina's there. And so it's funny because like, whenever I know somebody's getting ready to transition, I always tell her to like open up, her arms and, say hi, have a party with them, welcome them in.
No. Wow.
But yeah, I think it's just interesting just to hear from your perspective and kind of even validating me like, oh, okay, like somebody actually understands that.
Yeah. It's rough, dog. Especially when it's the person you married, like your spouse, dog. That like I said earlier, that never is an image in your brain. It right. Just until it's here. Until you don't find out until you find out. I didn't find out how strong I was until we had to go through this. Yeah. I didn't find out that how special love was until I started getting messages from women, and I wish I had the support you gave your wife. When I was going through my battle, or young brothers sending me messages like, "Yo, you sticking by your wife." This is the first example I've seen of a young man and doing that, and thank you for that. Like that's you don't know that you're impacting lives, man. Just if you're just living,
right?
And the fact that you can do that, that's a gift, and that's a gift I don't take for granted. So every opportunity I get to share my story and the legacy of Superwoman, the lady I got to marry and spend my life with, absolutely, man. Let's talk about it. Y'all need to know who she was.
Absolutely, right. We do. And like I said, I love we folk, you see pink gloves and rah, rah, rah. And I love that you guys shared the real. Like, yes, she's beautiful, vibrant, bright. But this shit is real, man.
It
is
right. Right. It's not all rainbows and butterflies.
No, it's not.
Not even close, man. I remember one of those times when we had to get she had to get her stitches taken out, and she wanted to like see. So I'm literally, I got the camera, and I'm in her face, and I'm like, "Oh, baby, you're doing so well." And I go back and I look at and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is." And I come back, "Oh, yeah, it looks so good." Oh, it's crazy. You don't know how to react, and you don't know that that's gonna come. You don't know. I hope any listener, I hope you don't have to deal with it. I hope your life is blessed and you don't have to deal with any diseases. But if you do, keep going, man. Understand that people have gone through it. People will go through it, and you got to deal with it. God is still by your side. God ain't never left you. Yeah. Don't think that. But
and that's real helpful. Again, we focus so much on the cancer patient, rightfully so. But again, nobody goes through this alone. I know, of course, you'll say God, but like, how did you power through? How did you take care of you while taking care of Roz?
Yeah, It was hard. It was hard. A good group of friends. Little THC. Beverages here and there. Music is a very, very big part of my life. I use music as therapy. I'm a singer, musician. So it helps me. And I just focused on her. Lack of a better term, I didn't focus on myself as much as I guess should. And I'm repaying that back to myself now. So I'm eating better. I'm going to the gym. I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm taking care of myself. But in that time, I didn't do that good of a job of taking care of myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was shit was rough. It was times that I didn't think I could power through. And that's where I thank God that my village stepped up. Like people around us who loved on us, man. Her friends, my friends, my mom. It was dope, man. So a village is how I power through. Get you a village and tell them you love them. Get you a few friends around you who are gonna be down for you, who are gonna love you through thick and thin, and lean on it, man.
Yeah. I know I always say that, kind of what Cynthia was saying is that even though we're diagnosed, our friends and family are diagnosed too. They're just diagnosed in a different way.
Yeah.
And so what is it that you would tell men, especially, Black men who, are going through something similar, or their, partner has just recently been diagnosed with cancer and they're trying to learn how to navigate that?
The diagnosis does not determine the value of their contribution to your life. You know what I'm saying? Like the diagnosis is just a diagnosis. You loved, or you told somebody that you loved that person, no matter what their condition is. That's like the idea of it is unconditional love. The only reason we're here is to love on each other unconditionally. Jesus was a very good example of that. We fall short often, but a diagnosis does not determine their value, man. Everybody deserves love. And also, like, remember the golden rule, man. The golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. It's that's very simple. That is very simple to understand. If I were in this situation, how would I want somebody else to treat me? And just do that. Because the answer is never going to be, oh, leave me or talk bad about me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want me to cuss me out. No, it's never going to be. I want to be loved. I want to be supported. I want to be cared for. And hopefully I'm in that position. But if I am, hopefully I put enough good energy in the world that it'll come back to me. Just understand how the universe works. The golden rule, man. Treat others the way you want to be treated. My wife had to go through brain cancer and surgeries and chemotherapy and pills and appointments and physical therapy and all that. And the only thing I had to do was love on her through that. Of course I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. If that's talking to her, if that's crying with her, if that's rubbing her back, if that's making her some food, if that's not sleeping, if that's waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, making her spaghetti, that's what I gotta do. Because I love her. And if I were in that position, I would want somebody to treat me really good. So if anybody's gonna do that, man, just remember the point. You don't want nobody to stop loving you just because something's different about you.
Right. You'd be surprised how much it happens, though.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately. But that's what these platforms are for. That's what these conversations are for too. Put that back into your mind. Hey, guess what, man? You need to love on somebody. The golden rule is still real.
Right.
And I really appreciate you being that example, because you're proof positive. It exists. Black love exists. Black men are out there, despite what society and social media will tell you, loving their women the way they supposed to, the way they want to be loved in return. And I just thank y'all for stepping up and showing that it is there.
Yeah.
Because the world will tell you otherwise. But, we got to see Ray Ros and live in color.
It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
I'll also say this to y'all, just relationships in general. Don't let the nice pictures and videos fool you. We'll get shitty.
Right.
At some point, we'll get shitty.
It will.
But you gotta get through it. Anybody that tells you it's always gonna be rainbows and sunshine, and they are lying to you. They are lying.
Yeah.
It's rough. Love will test you. Love will make you question yourself. Love will make you work harder than you ever thought. Right. Love is gonna make you listen more. But it is the most beautiful thing that this life can bring. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. It's great. It's worth it all.
How would you explain you and Roz's love? Like if you had to explain it.
How would I explain me and Roz's love? I would say now is generational. Like it's like just from the feedback that we've gotten, like I'm trying to think of the word. Just the way they're explaining us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the amount of lives we've been able to touch. Old people older than us, younger, like this men who've been married 30 something years, then sent me messages. Yo, you inspire me to love my wife more. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, what do you mean? Like, so like the fact that we can do that for older couples who are newly married, people who are still looking for love, that we can be a light or a beacon or inspiration. Say somebody can look at me and say, oh, I still believe in love. Love still exists. Good men still exist. That's a responsibility, and that's a joy for me. Like God, sign me up. Let me continue to be the example. Let me continue to be the light. So our love is generational, man. Everybody could connect to it. Right. Everybody saw a piece, either themselves or a piece of their lives in us. And it's a direct reflection of the love we get in the world, man.
Yeah, that I love every little bit of that. Every little bit of that. So much so.
Yeah.
So I know that you had a documentary that came out.
Yes.
And it's called, tell us what it's called again.
Love, a True Story.
Love, a True Story. Yeah. And so what inspired the documentary?
One of my best friends, Rudy Jefferson, he and I did a short film, like almost 15, 16 years ago, talking about what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be in life. And he was like, yo, it's crazy to see most of the stuff that you talked about. Because back then I was talking about changing the world and making people feel better and smile and all that. And he's like, yo, look at what you've done. Like, look at what you manifest and look at the work you've done. And with our story and just the way everything was happening, I knew I needed to document that as well, or at least I wanted to document it, because like it was fresh in the moment, like documenting me first seeing her in a casket, which is, oh man.
Yeah. Cynthia and I were talking about that this morning.
Yeah, that was
powerful, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. That was that one was rough. That one was, but she looked so good.
She did.
She looked so. I literally could not be mad. I could not be sad. It's in the way they had it set up. As soon as you walk into the funeral home, right there. As soon as you open the door, you had the lights on her. She had the shimmering suit on, her legs crossed with a pink heel. She had a little headpiece. I couldn't do anything but smile and rejoice, man. So we wanted to show people, like, listen, we've let y'all into our lives from the jump.
Right.
We've shown y'all everything. And not a lot of people will show that side of the transition. Not a lot of people will show those raw conversations with my friends and my pastor and like just, but people need to see it.
They do.
It needs to be out there. So I'm glad he had the vision. I'm glad I had the vision, and it's tough for me to watch it sometimes, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough for me to watch it, but it's good. Listeners, if you've not seen it, you should look at Love, a True Story about me and my wife's journey.
And I appreciate, again, that aspect. In our community, we talk about surviving and thriving. Mm-hmm. And we don't often talk about death.
Yeah.
Right.
And in fact, in our community, we lost one of our beloved baddies not too long ago, Sharon. Mm-hmm. And walking this cancer community, you're going to love people who are not going to make it. Their journeys are going to end much sooner than we want. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you being real about your grief. How are you? How are you surviving? How are you putting one foot in front of the other?
I don't know, man. I am doing my best. Some days are much better than others. Mm-hmm. I think one thing that helps me out is I truly experience all of my emotions. Like I'm not afraid of them. I don't shy away from them. Mm-hmm. I learned this idea or this theory from a book called Unlearn. He encouraged you to treat your heart like a hotel room. So the idea is a hotel room gives every guest equal opportunity to come in and enjoy, but they have a check-in and a check-out time. So like I treat anger as a guest. Anger, you can come in, and if you want to reside and be in here for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sure. Let me experience every aspect of anger. But after that 45 minutes is up, you got to go.
Mm-hmm. And check out time.
It's just check out time. Don't extend either.
Yeah,
you got to go right now. And then I experience, I clean up, and then I make room for joy and happiness and sunshine and memories and these videos and all these damn pictures I got her. Like I just I gotta keep going, man, because that's what she would do if she didn't have, you know what I'm saying? She would keep going. She wouldn't stop. She kept going even with her diagnosis.
Right.
What's my excuse now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any. I have a responsibility to now be a light. I have a responsibility of now encouraging others. Life is not easy, man. Life is no life. I'm not the first person to go through this. I won't be the last. Not the first widow, I won't be the last. But my story is unique, and my story can now help inspire hundreds or thousands or however many people. There's people all over the world who know me and my wife. People walk up to me in the mall and say, "Oh, you done got it." Is insane, man. It's crazy. So I keep going by the support and love that people show me. The memories of my wife, and knowing how good God is, man. Mm-hmm. Just every day He chooses me to wake up. He says, you know what? I'm gonna give you another one, because it's somebody who laid their clothes out last night and didn't get to put them on this morning.
Right. Yeah.
It's some people who don't get the opportunity of life anymore, and He chooses to breathe into me every morning and say, "Hey, now you go do what I told you to do."
Mm-hmm.
Go be happy.
Even speaking of our Baddie, we call our the women who are ambassadors in our community Baddie ambassadors. Cynthia's a Baddie ambassador, and like she was saying, our Baddie ambassador Sharon had passed away. And you actually have a little bit of a connection for the rest of us, whether you know it or not.
Okay.
Because you must have seen the post on our page saying that she had passed away, that she had transitioned. And you had commented on it and actually shared the post.
Yes.
Yeah, because she passed away a couple of days before your wife had transitioned as well. Which I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, so he does have a connection with us. And we recently launched a special collection in her memory. We're calling it the Legacy Collection. But she always had a tagline that she would always say, and it would say, "In purpose, on purpose, living my best life." And just wanting people to remember that, that we all have a purpose here, whatever that purpose may be. I think people get caught up, especially in this world of social media, of like, you have to have all these followers and you have to do this, and everybody wants to be, a celebrity or, whatever the case may be, but everybody has a purpose. And, I always say it doesn't matter if you touch one person or 100 people, you're still making a difference.
Yeah.
And, I think Sharon lived her life that way. I know she lived her life that way of, in her community, just the young women that she would help. She was a single mom, making sure that she gave back to the community. And, she didn't care whether she was doing that just in her community or if she was advocating with us and for the rest of us, still made a difference.
Shout out to the Baddie Sharon, man.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. So let's have a little bit lighthearted fun before we wrap this up. So talking about the love that you and Roz had. So who was the cleanest out of the both of you?
She was, because her military background.
Yeah.
I went to college and I'm a frat boy. So.
It's the purple and the gold.
Yeah, you already know what's going on.
Yeah,
that's the only fraternity there is. The rest of
okay.
Yes, but she whipped me into shape. I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was the better cook?
If we're talking breakfast food, that's me. Also, my crab cakes are world renowned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I told you, I'll make some crab cakes. But she could make a really good steak. She knew how to burn my chicken just the right way. She made a really good, her mac and cheese was good. Her lasagna was good. So she would do dinner. I'll take care of breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if me and Cynthia were to hop in your car, what music would we hear right now?
Right now, you would probably hear some song by John Legend, followed by a gospel song, probably like a John P. Key or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And probably Encore by was Cheryl Lynn. That's my joint right there. Yeah, man. I listen to everything. Soul, R&B, hip hop. I'll literally be enjoying my plant-based medicine, listening to the gospel music. I'm like, yo, it's
hey, it's dimensional.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I know who my God is. I know my relationship with God, and so did she. So did she was on the same vibes I'm on. And if anybody made it in heaven, I know she did.
Yeah.
I know for a fact she in there.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so when was your first kiss?
Ooh, my first kiss was middle school. Yeah, a girl named Victoria Ray. Shout out to Victoria Ray. She we lived in the same neighborhood, man, and it was quick. Got it. Neither of us knew what we was doing. We just knew we wanted to kiss each other.
Right. Now, where do you see your life moving forward from this point?
Continuing to inspire people. I'm getting into the world of public speaking. I just had the opportunity to speak at a middle school to a class of 7th graders getting ready for their end of grade test. So I had to encourage them and all that. Last month, I spoke at a group of cancer survivors in Winston-Salem. I continue to advocate for mental health, cancer survivors, caregivers. Not only that, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I have a few different businesses. One of the main ones I do now is I help people recover money from the foreclosure of their house. So a lot of people don't understand that even though they lost a property, let's say the taxes, they can still benefit from that sale. So I'm able to audit government records. I'm able to see exactly how many people are owed money, how much money they're owed, and I help them file a claim and get it back. And I receive a finder's fee for my services. So I give away money for a living. I'm still singing. I'm the minister of music at my church. I want to continue to do that. I got gigs. I'm hustling, man.
I mean, you got to.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm writing a book too. I'm getting the book together. I want to do it all, man, because life is short.
That it is.
My clock is ticking, whether I like it or not. My clock is ticking. I don't have time to not do stuff that's gonna not benefit me. I don't have time to stress out. I don't have time to not be joyous. I don't have time. I have time to do whatever God put me here to do. If I have to chase, if I have a goal I want to hit, I got to get to it right now.
Yeah. And this book that you're writing, is that about you and Ros?
A good portion of it will be.
Yeah.
I'm still working on like how to outline it, and I've obviously never written a book before, so try to see how I could structure it. A guy I did a podcast with about 2 weeks ago, based on our conversation, he said he's gonna help me publish one, and he published his own. So he's giving me some homework of how to separate. So I'm getting interviews and all this together just to see what I can put together, man. I'm journaling. Yeah. So.
And how is it, like, these milestones that you're hitting, now this year? How are you processing those, like birthdays, holidays, and stuff?
I just turned 34 like two weeks ago.
Oh, happy belated.
Yes, happy birthday.
It was different, man. Obviously. How am I processing it? I have very, very surreal moments sometimes, man. I find myself just riding, haven't played music in 20 minutes. I'm just literally in my thoughts. And like, I don't know. I don't know what my life is going to look like. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Because I didn't know that I was going to have the opportunity to be on America's Got Talent. I didn't know that we were going to be on Ellen DeGeneres. I didn't know that, but those were great things that were happening for me. So I got to also give myself some grace and mercy of not knowing what my life looks like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to also, listen, man, almost everybody out here freestyling. Let's
right.
Almost every one of us are freestyling. But I find myself in those moments. I'm like, yo, man, you're doing good stuff. You're putting good energy into the world. You're a light. You're a beacon. Like I feed myself positivity. I say good things to myself, and that just cultivates good energy around me, man. Positive energy is gonna bring positive energy. God ain't never let me down, and the Bible says He won't. So if I can continue to keep my relationship strong with Him, He's the creator of all things, man. He's got great stuff in store for me. I just got to stay on my path. I just got to continue to do what I'm doing, and God is going to show out every time, man.
Right. Yeah. And, maybe that's the lesson. You were saying you don't know what your life looks like. I know when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had actually wrote in the middle of chemo. It's just like, I don't know what tomorrow looks like, but maybe that's okay. Like, I'm so much of a planner and so much wanting to be in control of everything. Like, maybe that's okay that I don't know what it looks like tomorrow. And so I think that's how I try to.
Place to be.
Yeah.
That's a place to be.
And that's how I try to, some days are, easier than others, but that's how I try to live now. It's like living in this moment, being present in this moment. Because like you said, tomorrow is just not granted to anybody. But I would at least be able to say that I'm present in this moment. I'm living in this moment. I'm here for the memories so that, at the end of the day, I can say I was there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, if y'all don't get anything else from me, listeners, that was the message. Live in the moment, man. This thing is not promised. This might be as good as it gets. This might be as good. So enjoy it now. Find something around you, a person, a thing, something. Find something to be happy about. Find something to have some gratitude about. Because like gratefulness is, if you're grateful over a few things, God, he's promised to give you more. And I'm sure you can point that out in your life. We've been living long enough to, hey man, I was grateful of this thing. I took care of this, and God gave me this. Right. So why, if he did it before, why won't he do it again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do it again, Daddy. Do it again. Do it again, man.
Now, I usually wrap up by asking a question to, everybody. I'm actually going to ask you both questions. So I usually ask these questions depending on, who the audience is or who we're interviewing, but I'm going to ask you both. So you get to be that special interview.
Nice.
So the first question is, and I want you to finish the sentence for me. Love is?
Love is all encompassing. Love is a teacher. Love is discipline. Love is strange sometimes. Love is hard. Love is adaptable. Love is transformational. Mm-hmm. Love is everything.
Okay. And then, well, before I ask my next question, I'm going to ask you, just came to me, so I'm going to throw this in right here too. I was just watching, I don't know if you've seen the Netflix special that they have with Barack Obama talking about working, like why we work. Mm-mm. But he was in the grocery store with this young Black woman, single mom, and she had asked him this question, and I thought it's a good question that people should start asking each other. But the question that I have for you is, are you at peace?
I've got more peace now than I had before. Mm-hmm. And I'm working on continuing to build it. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes this boat get rocked.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I know the Prince of Peace. Mm-hmm. I tell you that, and I understand if I get closer to him, then I'll get closer to peace. So.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to not necessarily, like, when you hear that question and you'd be like, oh, well, maybe I'm not. I think that's okay as long as you're working towards it, right?
As long as you have moments of peace.
Right. Everything is peaceful.
Right.
That's another thing. I've stopped lying to myself, and I've stopped lying to other people because I just don't got time. I'm just keep it real, man.
Right.
This shit is hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Capital H.
Yeah, like whoever said this adulting stuff, like, come on, man.
This is hard.
It is the ghetto.
Man, listen.
0 stars, would not recommend.
Right.
but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
Yeah. And then, so my last question for you is, if you could say to Roz, I want you to finish this sentence for me as well. I love you because.
I love you because you made me a better person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's it. That could be the period.
Yeah.
Made you a better person. And that's all that, we can ask and we can hope for, especially with the people that we love, whether that's romantic.
Some people do the opposite.
They do.
Some people bring some bad stuff out of you.
They do. But at the end of that, on the flip of that, don't they still sometimes make you a better person?
100%.
Right.
It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Does stuff happen to you, or did stuff happen for you?
Yeah.
I believe everything happens for me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other parting words, Sin?
I will say, you said when Marissa asked that your love is generational.
Yeah.
And I would add that it's also transcendental. Like, your love radiates. Like, I look at pictures of Roz and I smile like I knew her and loved her the way you did. You know, sitting here chopping it up with you feels like we've known you forever. And just know that y'all have put some good out in this world.
Thank
you
you.
really, really have. And I'm grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I am too.
Saying that. Thank you.
And I'm the crybaby baddie too. So
yeah. So I'm glad you've done good so far though. Even these last couple of questions, you held it together.
Ain't nothing wrong with crying, man.
Nope.
I get it out as often as I can.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad
trying
you do.
to. I'm the thug. I'm the thug of the group.
No,
so
she tries to be the thug.
She can cry too, huh?
Yeah, I do. I would say that's one thing that cancer has definitely brought out is the sensitive side of me.
Yeah.
Just knowing that it's okay, especially because Black women, we always, feel like we always have to be strong and walk around that way. And, when I'm, a single mom as well too. So when I was diagnosed, I think my son was 13, 14. And so, he went through that process with me as well. And just learning how to like break down those walls and, show my emotions and be vulnerable with him. If that's the one gift that cancer has given me, that would be one of those things too.
Let me pose this question for you both. Like, how do you think For the Breast of Us is contributing to your purpose here?
It's given us me specifically a platform to share my story, to help other women along on their journey. And it's grown me and stretched me and given purpose to what you've been through. And I'm indebted. I'm grateful. Because like you said, this shit is ugly. And probably just like Roz, you just got to face it. You don't have a choice but to go through it. But to find purpose, to find community in it is just invaluable.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's just, definitely helping other women that come behind me. So that way they don't have it, as hard, or they have, other resources that I didn't have just, at their fingertips. A lot of this like stuff that I had to find out on my own. So being able to give them that is definitely a reward. But I think, and Cynthia has to remind me a lot of times, she always tells me like, I don't think you realize the people that you're touching every day. And I don't. And maybe that's just because I feel like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
But thank you both for doing this. Thank you both for this platform. Thank you both for using your stories to inspire others. Because you could be selfish and not do any of this. That's a clear choice, and you all make a choice every day to, you know what, I'm not only living my life for myself but for other people. Like this is bigger than that. So I appreciate the light you all put into the world, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Yes, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I can't wait to continue to watch and see what you do.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and you'll have to come to Atlanta. We'll have to give you some, information. I'm based here in Atlanta, but we're also holding our yearly celebration here in September. So we would love for you and, some of your people to come and, celebrate with us. We'll have to send you some pictures from last year, but we had a room that we called a legacy room.
Okay.
And, just think of it like you're walking through a museum and you see pictures of women who have been, diagnosed with breast cancer, women who are still here and women who have transitioned on. And underneath their picture, people wrote in what they felt like that their legacy was. And it was just, it was really dope. And so we would love for you to come and experience that and just have a good time and party with us.
Absolutely. Send me the details on there.
Yeah. Absolutely, we will. Thank you so much. You were so gracious, slid in your DMs, and you responded almost immediately.
Yes.
I know you're getting tons of requests, tons of messages, and We are so grateful for you and appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. If y'all need anything else from me, just let me know.
We will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, Ray. Long live Roz.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
This is another Baddie creation brought to you by For the Rest of Us. Don't forget to subscribe to Baddie wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at For the Breast of Us, on Twitter at The Breast of Us, and check us out online at breastofus.com. Thanks for listening.